Hello, Gogglefrogs, and I hope you're all having a wonderful week. Hopefully, you've seen some unusual weather. I think we've had a little bit of beautiful sunshine and beautiful rain as well. So, hopefully, it's been good wherever you are. So, hopefully, you've got your knitting with you, or crochet, or whatever, and a nice drink. So, I've got a nice pint of cordial. So I had reflexology earlier, so I can't drink alcohol. And I had a migraine earlier today, so I'm really not drinking alcohol today. But do let us know in the chat what you're drinking this evening or what you're working on, or if you've got a new project on the needles. Whatever you've got, let us know. And it is absolutely wonderful to be able to chat with Robert and Marion this evening. So, and I know that everybody loves seeing the both of you. So, how are you two?
You first, Robert.
I'm okay. Very tired. It's been a very intense few days back at work. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, off Monday. At the back. All day meetings yesterday. All day meetings today. All day meetings tomorrow.
That's called being a manager, Robert.
Yeah.
It's called overcommitting.
Yeah.
Oh, bless. And how are you, Marion?
I'm okay.
Yay.
I'm fine.
Good.
Fabulous.
Apart from one of the rows out the front's got green fly, so that's been done. The honeysuckle's got, my honeysuckle looks poorly, so I've sprayed that as well.
Oh.
But apart from that, fine.
Oh. Well, anyone know any great tips for making honeysuckle look much, much better? If you have, share it in the chat, because who knows, there could be something.
Washing up liquid in water, that's what it's been sprayed with.
It's been sprayed with?
Washing up liquid in water.
Oh, right, okay.
Same as you do for aphids.
So
I don't like using chemicals.
No. Well, I've got a poinsettia at the moment, and it got so big. Honestly, it was falling over. It was so big. It was pot bound. I've repotted it, and it really doesn't like it. But I know that they don't like being repotted. They don't like being moved or anything. So this thing has got loads of brown leaves. It's really telling me it's not happy. But hopefully it will pull through. So it's got one or two choices, hasn't it? It's getting watered, and it's got sun. So we'll see. So
don't they originally come from somewhere in South America, poinsettias?
I've got no idea. Absolutely no idea. I just know it's impossible to keep them, and I can't believe I've had one for nearly a year and a half now. So
wow. Well done, you.
Yeah. So we'll say some good evening, shall we?
Yeah.
Oh. So if my throat keeps, do you know, I've got this stupid
Mexico and Central America.
Huh?
Mexico and Central America.
So why on earth have they become a Christmas plant here?
No idea.
Never mind.
Ask Alexa or ask Google.
They're lovely, but why? I don't. Now we know why they're so blinking hard to keep. We always buy lots of them for Christmas, and by March they've sort of wilted and gone, haven't they? So anyway, mine's done over a year now, so it's doing really well. So good evening, Safi. How are you? Lovely to see you.
Good evening.
Hello, Linda P. Hopefully you're well. And hello, Laura.
Hello.
Hopefully well over this thing now. And good evening, Janice. And Janice, I meant to say, for the afternoon tea, just double check it's not the same weekend as the strike at Euston. Before I forget, I heard it today and I thought of you. They're going to do striking at Euston Station. So just let me just check.
Oh.
Good evening, Jane. Hello, Jane. Yes, lovely. Sorry, I was just moving lens. And hello, good evening, Jackie. How are you? And good evening, Grace. How are you? Lovely of you to join us. Hello, Georgie. How are you? And hello, Deborah. Where on earth in the world are you, Deborah? Let us know. And hello, Brigitte. Lovely to see you all this evening. So, are you all right, Robert?
Yeah.
I can't tell whether it's your back hurting or whether there's something happened that you're not happy with.
No, I'm fine. I'm just I'm looking at what you said for Janice. That was all.
Yes, it was. There's a strike on that. It's the what's it weekend.
Jubilee weekend.
Jubilee weekend. They've said it's going to be Euston Station and one other station affected.
There's nothing on London North Western Railway website.
It was on LBC today.
Okay.
So as soon as I heard it, I thought, "Oh, Janice, are you coming to the afternoon tea?" So if you are,
I hope so.
because you normally make it.
Well, it's going to be watch this space, isn't it?
And anyone coming through London, let's just keep an eye on that, shall we? Highly annoying, but as with all of these things, let's hope that when it comes to the day or the day before, they sort it all out.
Yeah.
And make friends.
Robert, were your ears burning earlier today?
Whose?
Robert's.
No, why?
Oh, they should have been.
Well, do tell.
I was cussing you like mad.
Me?
Because this ball of yarn is coming out of the middle.
Ah.
Oh.
And I got told I was making a mountain out of a mole. But I've had to do this with it. Get like a little ball. And it's just hanging.
Oh, bless. Yeah.
Because it came out in a lump.
Oh.
I don't like that thing when you go from the middle of a. I just can't make them work. I end up with it. Oh, a total bit of a to do with things not in everywhere.
Aren't you using Fjord now, though?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm from the outside.
But doesn't it fall apart?
Well, it's just there's no way it's going to fall apart at the moment because it's been frogged so many times and it's wrapped so
Okay.
much. But once it gets a little bit more, it will be going in a carrier bag and not coming out of that carrier bag, so it doesn't unravel. But it's interesting. We were having this conversation. Was it at the Knit and Natter at John Lewis the other day? And we were actually having a conversation about, has something changed over the last few years? And do you find that balls of wool unravel so much more than they used to? And my theory, and I may be wrong, but my theory is that in the olden days, we used to have things that felt a lot more like traditional wool, and they seemed to stick together and ply together much more. And now we've got all these wonderful ones. They're not as tightly wound anyway.
No.
And they sort of slip. So it's so easy for things to get knotted. Actually, get knotted. I didn't mean to say get knotted to people, but I was meaning knot up. Not get knotted, knot up. Yeah. So I don't know. Is it just me? Is it the fact that they don't wind the balls as tightly, possibly to make them look bigger than they used to? I don't know. I think all of us are noticing that. And I think it's something to do with things that don't contain pure new wool. But I could be wrong. So let me know.
I think with variegated, they don't wind them as tight, so you get to see more of the colour.
Yeah.
And Fjord is variegated.
That could be a very good point.
Yeah, maybe.
Very good point.
Because you've both used Fjord. If you imagine that was wound tighter, you wouldn't see the colour, would you?
No.
Or the variegation.
But I was quite happy with it coming from the outside. I didn't have a problem.
You know.
Mind you, I did keep it in a little bag all the time, a little fabric one.
Yeah, it will be going in.
And this came from the inside, was kept in its plastic bag because it was a 400 gram of ball, so it should have been fine.
Yeah, but I find it quite annoying how easy balls just fall apart. And certainly when you get to the back, if you've got 100 gram, you're down to about the last 30, 40 grams, suddenly you just have this total mess. It doesn't resemble anything like a ball. You may as well just thrown it at the wall, stamped on it a few times, and that's what it looks like. So, yeah, I don't know if other people feel the same, but let us know. Anyway, should we catch up?
Brigitta's supporting you, Robert.
Should we catch up on chat?
I think so.
So Grace says, good evening. Good evening, Grace. Brigitte says, evening, peeps, 337. Can you believe it? 337. Deborah says,
when we've later on, I must tell the story of the episode numbers. Carry on. Sorry.
Okay. Right. I was just looking at what's that in my garden, and I looked. I thought, what is that brown thing in the middle of my garden? And I realised that before hubby went away, he's put, for the circular washing line, you need one of them things to go in. So he's dug a hole and he's inlaid a round a stone with like a star shape on it and a hole for me washing line thing to go in. And I suddenly looked out thinking, what's that brown thing? I thought I'd killed the grass in all of half a day. So never mind. That's out there. So we'll hear the episode number story soon. Deborah says, evening all. Hope you're feeling better, Angela. Yes, thank you. Getting better bit by bit, which is good. Laura says, good evening all. Jackie says, evening all. And Safi says, good evening all. Linda P says, good evening everyone. Janice says, she uses washing up liquid and water as well for her plants. Less smelly than some of those potions, yes. And you can apparently use, if you use something like a shampoo or certainly conditioner, because it's slippy and things can't stick onto them in the same way. It's like an electromagnetic thing that happens, but it's certain ones, and I couldn't tell you which ones it is. I know the ones I use, but I don't really do gardening anyway. So Janice uses that little trick as well. Georgie says, evening. Brigitte says she's never had any success fighting green or black fly with washing up liquid and water. So it's the bug spray, I'm afraid. Well, at least you get rid of them, which is great. And Deborah says she's in Yorkshire, sat in the garden. Fabulous. Hopefully you're enjoying being there as well. Janice says this is good. She says may be wrong, but she thought the strike at Euston was just the underground. It could be. It may be just the underground. Not coming to the tea anyway, but she's got something else on. I was just thinking, oh my word. So Brigitte says, take no notice of Marion's moan. It was not knotted up, and a little shake every now and then was all it needed. Is that right? And she says, you don't want a 400-gram Aran bowl rolling around, starting on the outside. I cannot stand those 400-gram Aran bowls. They're things that certainly end up on the fire with me. Because no matter how I try and knit with them, the blinking things, not. Georgie says, apart from the Stylecraft DK, sorry, my lens is really spinning. She winds by hand all her yarn into a ball. Otherwise, she ends up with a tangle. Do you know what? That is really, really good. A good suggestion. And I think I might be doing that with certain types of wool. I'm going to do that, Georgie, because that's true. When you wind it yourself by hand, you've got this tight ball. You never get into a pickle with it, do you? So that is the best tip of the day, Georgie. Thank you. I'm going to do that. And Deborah says it's threatening to rain, so we might be going in soon. Yeah, I was thinking we might have a little bit of rain or a little bit of a storm.
I think thunderstorms are threatened for here.
Well, I think that's why I've got a headache, because I always get them when there's a storm due. And I expected a nice storm yesterday, so I went and stood out by the door and stood there for half an hour just watching the rain, but we didn't get any thunder and lightning, so that was a bit disappointing. But never mind.
Well, I commented this morning at knitting that it was a bit muggy and very sticky, and they went, yeah, it is. Then all of a sudden, about half an hour later, it was fine. It was as though nothing.
It's getting very warm, unnaturally warm, isn't it, at times? And I've noticed quite a lot of flies coming in, and that tends to say we're going to have some rain. So that's all fun.
I better get all these toys in.
Oh, I must get the cushions off the chairs at the bottom of the garden. And Rebecca says, hello all, nice to see you between gasping and coughing. Oh dear, are you not well? And she says, we were meant to have a serious storm on Monday. Yeah, that's what I expected. I was all ready to go and sit at the end of the garden under the big umbrella on a metal chair and watch it. However, we didn't have a storm, so never mind. But whenever there's a storm, I will go outside and watch it because I love storms. So
I think we last watched a storm. We were on Poros in Greece, a little island away from the mainland, and we were sat having dinner outside, and there was this massive thunderstorm on the other side of, I don't know, the sea. It wasn't a big wet, no rain out with us, but half a mile away. Tipping down, thunder, lightning. It was one show and a half. It was absolutely amazing for about 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
We just sat and ate and watched it. It was just incredible.
Oh, well, I'm sure I've told this story before, but it's probably a year or so ago. So I'll tell it again. Me and a friend, we went to the Amalfi Coast, and we were in this hotel. And we were on the rooftop terrace, and it must have been, I don't know, about 11:30, 12, and we both had a nice drink. You know, we'd had dinner, we had a Grand Marnier, glass of whatever, and we sat there on this roof terrace, and the whole bay of Capri, we could see that, and it was just lovely. So anyway, you know what it's like when it's really, and we could see all this lightning in the distance as well, because there was a storm going on. It wasn't raining, it was just a storm, and it was beautiful. Anyway, we must have been so relaxed and possibly had a Grand Marnier too many, and we must have fallen asleep on the rooftop terrace. Suddenly, my eyes were shut, but I could see everything as the lightning struck around us and totally illuminated the whole of the place around us. So it hit the top of the hotel. The two of us sort of stood up, screamed. You've never seen two people run into a hotel as quickly. And as we got to the door, it was only a single door, and the two of us, it was just like, I'm going first. No, I'm going first. And it was like a comic sketch as we tried to get in. And you know, all we did was laugh. But it was absolutely hilarious that we'd fallen asleep and woken up by lightning illuminating both of us. It was absolutely hilarious. So that is probably one of the best storms I've ever been in. It was great. So anyway, that's my little favourite story. Well, one of them. So let's have a look. So Rebecca says, oh my word, do you know what? I'd be suing these people. Yes, did I say that? I did. Workmen did not come to their house today as there was a warning on the BBC weather app. I would say you need different work people. The weather apps are not always accurate.
It's true. We got a in the middle of a meeting with my regional director today. We got a yellow weather warning alert for blood red rain.
For what?
Blood red rain.
Yeah, it's just got a bit of sand in it, hasn't it?
Sand in it, yeah.
Yeah.
I was what the hell is blood red rain?
But we had that a few weeks ago, and I just thought it was when there were tables out, and it was all brown. It was like when you have Cyprus potatoes, it was that colour on top. And I just thought it was off some weird stuff off the trees.
So there's two ways we get it now. We get it through the wind, and we get it through the rain. And it was the wind a few weeks ago, which is where it settles and it's yellow. But because this is in the rain, it's going to be red. Yeah, because it was bright red. It was really weird, like a reddish brown, but it does look very red. So anyway, get some new ones. If they don't turn up, do you know what? There'll be somebody happy to turn up, and just go indoors when it starts raining. So Deborah says, thanks for the retreat program. It sounds great. Can't wait. Yes, it did eventually get done. There's a link to something that shouldn't be a link on there. Never mind. We got it done with my COVID brain. Okay. So I apologize for any tweaks that needed doing, but hey, it's done. And the main thing is we've got everything sorted. So thank you so much. And I'm glad you're looking forward to it. Rebecca says she's had 2 copies of the program. I don't know why. I guess it was guess what the questions would be. Did I guess right? And she says it sounds great. And she says, no, Angela, it was Monday. They did arrive. That's good. Blood red rain sounds dreadful. I guessed it would be desert sand. Oh, rain here and the washing's out. I got my washing in before this, thinking if it starts raining, I'm not about to go running across the garden, and it's all nice and dry, so it's all in the house now. And Jenny says we got covered in the sand a few weeks ago from the Sahara, I think, and it stuck. And Linda says, thank you for the retreat program. Not long now. That's it.
Am I right in thinking that some years ago we also had a load of sand from the Sahara, and it did an awful lot of damage to cars, to their bodywork? Was it in this country or was it in Europe?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I would just like to say, Brigitte, hopefully you'll be proud of me, because after, I think I worked out today, I've been knitting for 15 years. I'm finally knitting without having to take my finger off the needles. It's just tweaked. I was sat here and I thought, oh, it's tweaked. Thank you.
What?
Well, normally I take my finger
off
the needle every time I need to do a stitch.
I do.
But I've just worked out that I don't need to. She's been trying to teach me for years how to do it without taking my fingers off the needles, and it's just tweaked.
Oh, brilliant!
Trying to do it.
It's how you wrap your finger. Wrap
the wool around your finger. Yeah.
Wrap the yarn around your finger.
Yeah. Oh,
I can't blame COVID.
Celebratory times.
Right.
Brilliant.
Let's do music.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 3 musical interludes left before we go into a special series of 6 to wrap us up. Excuse me. Which means we have tonight's, Saturdays, next Wednesdays. So we have 2 Wednesday nights and 1 Saturday. So we normally on a Wednesday night have something a bit pumpy, party-y, and on a Saturday we have something a bit more relaxed and calm. So here is this evening's
the Sex Pistols
musical interlude. Unfortunately not. This evening's musical interlude, and lots of reason to kind of get a bit bouncy around. Here we go.
Brilliant.
I had no idea that tune was in there.
Who sang it?
Oh, I don't know who did it. Who did the proper version? But that was from Madagascar, the film.
Sorry, I turned you off. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh, I
Sorry.
said I don't know who sang it originally, but that was from Madagascar, the film.
I remember it from my clubbing years. So, yeah, I don't actually remember who sang it. I just know it was a massive, massive club hit. Let's have a quick look and see.
What year was it, Robert?
What?
I love to move it, move it.
I don't know.
Is it Reel to Reel? Yeah, and that was 1994.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so rather a lot of years ago, but I do believe that I will have been clubbing all around the Harrow area. So back in 94. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that would have been around there then. So
17 years ago.
Huh?
17 years ago, if I've done my sums right. 16 years ago.
We used to go to somewhere.
No, more than that.
Huh?
It's more than that. 94, 2004, 2026 years ago.
I was going to say.
Yeah. I thought, oh my God, that's not very long ago. Yeah. But I know we used to go to a bar in Harrow called the VIP bar. And if you got in there, they would give you a free ticket to a club down by, what's that gyratory outside Ealing? Is it Hanger Lane? Well, there's a retail park and there used to be a nightclub there. So you used to get a free coach over there and you used to get a coach back to Harrow for free. And you used to get free entry as long as you were over there before 11 o'clock. So you used to leave the VIP bar about 10:30 or something like that. Really good night out. And it was well, that's when I'm just so glad that I was sort of young then when the super clubs were out, because now there are no big nightclubs. And it was just amazing when you'd have nightclubs where you'd have 4,000 people in, 6,000 people in. Yeah, it was just amazing. So I remember those days. And if anyone can remember what the name of that club was, just off Hanger Lane, let me know. I can't remember.
Right, let's catch up on some chat. So Brigitte says, oh my God, Robert, this is because I got continental knitting. She said, I'm so proud of you. I knew you'd get it one day. Linda says, I've been mastering 2-color continental knitting today. 2 colors on the left. Wow. I might get that in another 15 years. I can't do 2-color knitting, so 2-color continental knitting is a big no. Brigitte says, a few years ago, there was a hailstorm in Dawsberg. Every car that was not undercover had their roofs and bonnets dented. Wow. Rebecca, we come to the music now, says, I have no energy to bounce, but I am tapping my feet. I do love the lemurs, and those penguins are the limit. Georgie says, I'm going to be singing this in my head for the rest of the week. Very good. It's made me smile. Oh, no, you're not. You're going to be singing something else instead. Because right at the very, 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 very end, we've got another little music video for you. And it's a real earworm. It's going to be going through your head for weeks. I promise. Janice says, love this film as it is so daft. I only ever watched the first one. Didn't really like it. Just didn't watch any of the others. Brigitte says, love this song. When grandson Jonas was little, he couldn't pronounce the letter V. So when he danced this, he was singing, I like to move it, move it. I still like to sing that. Oh, how sweet. Laura says, how lovely, thank you. Rebecca says, Professor Google says it was reel to reel. Janice says, Sacha Baron Cohen played him in the film. Might have been him on that video. Linda says, blimey, did we have clubs in Harrow? I didn't know of any.
It wasn't in Harrow. You used to go to a drinking bar, the VIP bar, and then you be coached to the one by Hanger Lane. I'm going to have a look on Google and see if I can see where it was.
Hanger Lane's not Ealing.
No, Hanger Lane is the bottom of the M1, isn't it?
No, not
Hanger Lane, Jarray Trees, Pinner way, isn't it? Pinner?
Is it that one?
What's the thing at the bottom of the M1 then?
No, that's
North Orbital, South
Hanger
Orbital.
Lane. I know Hanger Lane, and I'll tell you a story about Hanger Lane in a little while. But
okay.
yeah, it's by Park Royal. Yeah.
Yeah, Linda P just said it's Park Royal. Rebecca says even Melton Mowbray has clubs. Linda says I didn't go clubbing. We did house parties.
We used to have a house party after the club. I never went home until 7:30 on a Sunday morning.
Brigitte says Madagascar is not that old. Just Googled it, and it was 2005. Jonas was about 3, and he was singing that after seeing the film. Yes, so the original version of the song, though, Brigitte, was 90. What did you say? 94.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they used it in the film in 2005. There we go. Right, so I must apologise to Brigitte now, because for weeks and weeks and weeks, I haven't vocalised it, but for weeks and weeks and weeks, I've been going absolutely stir crazy because every time you say it's an episode number, I've been thinking it's wrong. And I was on the cusp of telling you that it was wrong until the other day I was going through, and because we missed an episode, I had to renumber all the episodes and the dates and realised it was actually me. I'd missed an episode back in January. So all of the YouTubes since January have been out by a whole episode number. Completely my fault. But I was just on the cusp of saying, no, I'm sure you're wrong.
So is Brigitte right?
Brigitte is right, yes.
I just found out that the nightclub that we used to go to, it was called Zenith. That was, well, it's called Acton Town, Park Royal. Yeah.
Park Royal is on the Piccadilly line.
I don't know. So,
not far from Sudbury and Alperton.
Yeah. And I'm going to let you into a secret. I may have told this story before about Hanger Lane. My first ever job was working for BT. And I then got a secondment down to London for 12 months and decided to stay. And anyway, there were these people who never paid their bills ever. And it was councils that never paid the bills. And I thought, I'm sorry, no, you've got to pay your bill. This is like 3/4 you haven't paid it. So you're going to get disconnected. And I thought, do you know what? We'll do it later in the day on a Friday. So it's about 3:30, something like that. And I got these things disconnected. I thought, right, that'll teach you. You'll be paying that by Monday morning. Set off in my car to go home. I got stuck in the most almighty traffic jam at Hanger Lane. I did not realise that traffic lights ran off telephone lines. And I had disconnected all the traffic lights in the area that hadn't been paid.
Love it.
In the exchange was saying, who's disconnected these? Well, my manager's countersigned it. Well, I wasn't to know, but yeah. So anyway, I did get stuck in that, but yeah. So it always makes me smile.
And were there any repercussions?
No, because as I was told off, or tried to be told off on the Monday morning, say, I told you, you countersigned it, and they should have paid. The number of times I wrote to them and I tried to call them, well, of course, I was trying to call the traffic light, wasn't I? That's why I couldn't get through to anyone. But never mind. Yeah, nothing happened. Because we always had to ring up. I did everything right. It wasn't my fault. So anyway, I hope that little story has made you smile.
Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's priceless.
I know.
Absolutely priceless.
Some people would be embarrassed.
And just think, this will be on YouTube now forever and a day. And I can just see this coming up as a question in a decade or so time. Who in 1994?
It would have been 1989, I believe. 1989 or 1990.
There we go. We've got an accurate date. Who in 1989 turned off
the whole of
and how did they do it?
Friday night. You can imagine, can't you? Yeah, it was so funny because I'm like chunters as I'm driving through thinking, oh my God, got no traffic lights. Never mind. So yeah, that's my little story. Have I not told that story before?
No.
You have now.
I'm so proud of that mistake. I really am. I just think it's hilarious.
Oh, dear me.
So, we'll catch up on chat. Yeah, the whole Park Royal thing. Yeah, the gyratory. Yeah, I sort of know it for now. You know why I know it. I used to drive through there every blinking morning and every night time. Rebecca said, "Oh no, I think something else." Laura says, "Well done, Brigitte." Brigitte says, "My head just grew a lot bigger."
Yep.
Rebecca says, Brigitte is a Gogglefrog super fan. Oh no. Hoist on your own petard.
Petard.
What's a petard?
I think
I don't know. It's French, but hoisted on your own petard.
Oh, right. Thank you. I just sat there thinking, oh my God, I don't know a word. I'm so glad that there's three of us who don't know that word.
Well, I know the phrase, but you've asked me what the word means.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the word means.
We'll find out.
Oh, a type of sword,
Sorry?
said Brigitte. A type of sword.
Okay, thank you very much.
I haven't brought my iPad up with me, so I can't look up these things.
Janice says, oh my God, Angela, well done. Yeah, I'm really proud of that as well. Laura says, how hilarious, Angela. Yeah, it was. Honestly, there was this engineering manager who was practically doing somersaults. I just found it hilarious. So Rebecca says, the little man who works the lamps answered the phone to you. Or rather should have done. And Brigitte says, priceless, Angela. Yeah, so I just think, yeah, it was amusing. They probably put a process in place to stop traffic lights getting disconnected on a Friday afternoon in future, but never mind. If they did, it was because of me. So get back to me knitting. I can't do any. I can't do any anything wrong with this knitting, so that's fine. You can leave me alone with knitting, just not drink. I mean, sorry. And you know what? I'll tell you this one. It's a Wednesday night, so I can say this. Whenever we used to go through this list, a disconnection list, however, we used to call it the toss list because it was termination of service as well. So it was just absolutely hilarious that they got tossed on Friday afternoon. So I just thought it was hilarious. Sorry. Robert is just looking in utter horror. But that was one of those, I suppose, a civil servant-ish type joke, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few of them that they'd go over lots of people's heads.
Yeah. And then Rebecca saying, aside from historical references to siege warfare and occasional contemporary references to fireworks, petard is almost always encountered in variations of the phrase hoist with one's own petard, meaning victimised or hurt by one's own scheme. The phrase comes from William Shakespeare's Hamlet, for 'tis the sport. Comes from Shakespeare. Thank you very much. I've only ever watched Titus Andronicus in Shakespeare. I was made to endure.
No.
I only ever get to see Shakespeare when we go to the Fringe and get to watch Shakespeare for breakfast. And they take a Shakespeare play put a modern twist on it, and it's bloody hilarious.
Oh, right. I just found, oh my God, when you do English literature, they make you study every single word. And it's like, Christ almighty. Romeo and Juliet, I absolutely hated. Just because we spent so many months studying it. And you just want to be able to read things from start to finish, get the gist of it, and then go through and review it and study it more. So
I had As You Like It for my GCSE, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Then I saw it at the theatre, modernised, and I loved it.
Exactly.
And that was my turning point for liking Shakespeare. Taming of the Shrew, Comedy of Errors, I love. King Lear sent me to sleep. But his comedies in the modern, brought up to date, are wonderful. Much Ado About Nothing. I saw that park, not Hyde Park, Regent's Park, with Brian Blessed playing one of the leads, and he was absolutely amazing. Yeah. Needless to say, you could hear every word he said.
Wasn't he the chap who refused to use a microphone? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I know there was one of them. I'm sure it was him. Yeah, he didn't agree with them. But of course, his voice was so clear and audible. He could do that, couldn't he?
Mm.
Yeah.
I have to say, just picking up on what you said, Marion, about not liking it, then liking something. The first time I saw Les Mis at the theatre in London, I hated it, couldn't stand it. The second time we saw it, I was absolutely bawling with tears at the end of it.
Yeah.
And we're going to see it again on Saturday at Milton Keynes, so it'd be interesting to see how I react this time.
Oh, wow.
Well, I saw the film.
Ugh.
My friend and I went to see it.
The film's rubbish.
Somewhere in Essex. And we just got to that sad bit. Everybody who's seen it will know, where that little boy dies.
Never seen it.
And this mobile goes off.
Oh.
And it says, old boy go, sorry, I don't know how to turn it off.
There's always one.
Totally spoiled it. Totally spoiled the rest of the film for everybody because they'd lost the thread. And you go, I can't turn it off. What button do I press?
Oh.
And stewardess, whatever you call them these days, came in and I think escorted him out.
Good.
Turned it off for him and let him back. Yeah.
It's just so weird, isn't it? That I think culturally everyone's just got so relaxed. Whereas even at school, we always had a trip to the theatre and we were told on the coach, you are not at the cinema. You do not go to the toilet. You don't get up, you don't leave, you stay there until the interval. And that's the only time you can move. You don't talk, you don't do anything. And we're always told that. But it's amazing how many people haven't been told that. And when people start to move around, you just think, oh my God, it must be so annoying for the actors on stage as well when there's rustling going on. And excuse me.
Well, granddaughter, when she was about 8, was taken to see Mamma Mia at the theatre because, of course, she knew all the words. And everybody around her was singing, so she joined in.
Oh, that's different, isn't it? Because that's where people are supposed to sing.
I get told off when I sing at the theatre.
Do you?
I do.
Can I just talk about? We've got to do it because we've had a certain historic event, haven't we? I.e., Eurovision when we came second. So let's just say a huge well done. And I don't know who watched it, but I just think it was brilliant.
Yeah, he did so well.
He did.
He did.
It was incredible.
Liked his jumper as well. Liked his jumper. Did you see the jumper he was wearing when he came home?
No.
Right. It was, I think, hand knitted.
Was it the cream one with the patchy sleeves?
Well, it had something on it, different designs on it. I think it was the spaceman thing. Stars and Saturn's rings and that sort of thing, but I'm not sure. But yeah.
And has anybody heard him? And the reason why it just sprang to mind is I saw something on Facebook. Has anyone heard him singing the ABBA song? I'll try and find it again and post it. But his voice is incredible.
It is, yeah. I've heard him singing "Defying Gravity."
It is just so good, and you know, when you just look at someone, you think he was just so like, I'm here just to enjoy myself, and he's just had a brilliant time, hasn't he? And you just think, oh, and I can't believe how good his voice is. I really, really, really hope, fingers crossed, he's going to get an amazing career out of this. Yeah. I think he's done us proud, and he's just, do you know what? It's amazing because I do actually know somebody. I don't know them, but I know they sang at an event with my husband once. And that person ended up to be the most hated person who represented us in Eurovision. Full stop. So, yeah, it was like this person was unbelievably, well, their head was too big for themselves, if you know what I mean. It's so nice. You think we've had all these weird people represent us, and now we've had a real little gem. So yeah, really liked it. So I will find that little video because I think people will be quite surprised him singing that ABBA thing.
Be interesting to see what happens next year now.
Yeah.
Whether we're out of the or not.
Yeah.
Yes. It'll be interesting as well to see whether Ukraine can host it and whether us from coming second will be asked to host it instead.
I think what will happen is if they can't host it, the Eurovision committee will do the same for them that they do for Australia, which is allow them to pick which country hosts it instead.
Right.
Oh, I've just seen his jumper.
I still can't work out why Australia's in Eurovision.
Oh, I don't know. But they've been in there for so many years now. It was part of the commentary, wasn't it? They've been in there for so many years now. We just need to get over it and accept that they're in it.
Yeah.
Oh, Safi thinks one of the big five will be asked to host. Well, it won't be Germany, will it, after nil point?
Bless them. And they got 0 points from the... but we were there last year. It is heartbreaking for your... Not for the country, because let's face it, we're all sat at home or we sat in the audience, but I feel so sorry for that poor, their act who represented them. Went all that way, and do you know what? Nobody is that bad. Nobody is that bad to get...
Was that the wolf costume?
No.
Oh, no, that did really well.
No, it was, wasn't it Boys Don't Cry or something like that?
I can't remember, but
it was the one where he was on steps and as he was singing, the shadow or the second guy was duplicating, wasn't it? And then the steps revolved around to face each other. I'm sure that's the one that was Germany. Anyway, so it'll be Spain, Italy again, us, Germany, or if it's the big five, I can't remember who the other one is. France, that's it. I don't think it'll be France, though.
Why?
Didn't they do... Was they last year or the year before? I can't remember.
Good point.
I think we should do it. We haven't done it for years now. 25 years, is it? I think we could do with it.
And we can, let's face it, we know how to put on a show.
Do. And we could definitely do with the tourism boost.
Yeah. I was going to talk about knitting. I was going to say that what I have realised since I've been unable to knit as much as I used to, just how long it takes to do something, and actually how many hours we do spend knitting without realising. Now, I've only done this little cap sleeve. Would anybody like to guess, excluding frogging, how long it's in rib, how long it's actually taken to knit in hours?
Don't know.
4.
Go on.
6.
6, 7 hours.
But you're probably,
it's amazing,
isn't it?
You're probably not knitting at your normal speed either.
Probably. But I think what it does go to show is the passion that we have for our craft and how undervalued it is, because we always say that we must be saying that we spend less time on it than we actually do. Because as I said, an evening. And then you think, hang on a minute, an evening's from 5 till 11 maybe. Well, that's just 6 hours. And I would have done this and probably started another. And I haven't quite finished this.
Wow.
In fact, it might have been more like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And so even taking into account me taking less time than normal.
Right, let's catch up on some chat. I've just realised the hour has run away with us. That's all right, it's fine. So I think what we'll do is we won't do Facebook today. We'll pause that till Saturday. So I don't think there's been many posts anyway. So Rebecca says when she worked serving petrol at a garage, we always called Fridays Poets' Day. Push off early. Tomorrow is Saturday. Yeah, that's all right if you have a Monday to Friday job. And she said she did Romeo and Juliet as part of her A-level and Antony and Cleopatra. Her then boyfriend was doing Othello for his GCSE, so she read that as well. The one she liked least was Coriolanus. That's it. Brigitte says you can imagine German schoolgirls having to read Macbeth in an English class. We were not impressed. No.
I'm not surprised.
No. And she had Rebecca says I had to do Moriel in French as part of my A-level French. Les malades imaginatifs, the hypochondriacs. That's just gone straight over my head. Sorry. Jackie says she's seen Les Mis 3 times and cried every time, and also seen the film, which she thought was okay. Safi says it was the best Eurovision in a long time. Rebecca says if England comes second in the football, no one is happy. True. Janice says, is anyone going to knit or crochet a bright pink weird hat as well? Yes, because the Ukraine singer had the pink crochet hat on, didn't he?
Was it a crochet? I don't know. It was very attached to it. I know that much.
Rebecca's posted the link for his sweater. Yes, let's just have a quick look at that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's lovely. Really, really nice.
That one.
We can't see it.
What one? Can't see it.
Yes.
That one, that's it.
Yeah.
Fab, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
But when he was on the One show on Monday evening, he had a cream jumper on, and the sleeves went to about t-shirt length, and then the rest of the sleeves were in patchwork, but they had been it looked like they'd been knitted in the round and then mattress stitched around. It was really clever. Safi said she really liked him. Jackie says, Marion, I think that's why Australia is in. It's something to do with broadcasting. Someone else says it's because they're in the European Broadcasting Committee, which I don't really get either.
But it was always massive over there, wasn't it? Like they had massive
Eurovision
parties and watched it over there. So I I suppose they've been trying to join for a long time and thought, well, why
Yeah.
not?
Well, let's face it, practically all their residents come from Europe.
Yeah, there is that as well. So, you know, there's a lot of people, a lot of our family members have moved over there or were, shall we say, were escorted over.
£10 poms as well.
Yeah. So it's,
And there's
yeah.
a big Greek contingent over there.
Right then, so it's 9 o'clock, and I did promise an earworm to finish. So,
Oh, wow.
on pause. We'll
Yeah.
watch it. We'll come back, and then we'll say goodbye.
And we haven't done Facebook.
No,
Yeah,
we're
doing
going to move Facebook to Saturday because there's not a lot in there. Right, so this is 1 minute and 19 seconds long, but enjoy, and please do feel free to do the moves.
Where did you find that,
What
Robert?
was that all about?
It's a dance craze on TikTok, and it's been going round and round and round with lots of different variations, and I thought I need to find the original, and that's the closest I could get to it.
See, it's a TikTok thing. My husband's constantly on blinking TikTok. You're on TikTok. I just don't. So, Brigitte, unless you're on TikTok, that's why you've never heard it.
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, dear. Brigitte says, great evening. Thank you. See you Saturday. Deborah says, thank you for this evening. Brigitte says, never heard that before. Rebecca says, you have too much time on your hands to surf the net, Robert. No, what happens is I go to bed. Gary says, I'm coming to bed with you. And 20 minutes later, I'm still waiting for Gary. So I have to find something to do in the meantime. And that's where my TikTok surfing comes in.
I get that opportunity to go to sleep first.
I wish. Laura says, thank you for a pleasant evening. Where did you find them? Georgie says, brilliant. Safi says, that was different. Deborah says, mad. Rebecca says, right then, thank you for this evening. See you in person very soon. Jackie says, thanks for this great evening. See you next Wednesday. And Safi agrees with you, Marion. She says she'd be sleeping. Yes, but unfortunately, I have a noisy husband who won't let me sleep.
That's why I want to go to sleep first.
Right. On that note, thank you for this evening, ladies. I am here on Saturday. Who else is here on Saturday?
Shopping.
Okay. So
I am
Marion,
here on Saturday, aren't I? Yeah, I am.
Angela, I'll see you on Saturday. Everybody else, whatever you're up to for the week, have a lovely week, and we'll see you all soon. No.
Bye-bye.